Alright. Today is okay. See, the problem is people are upset that Donald Trump was elected president. They're going protesting, but they're not just protesting. They're rioting in different cities. Now the question is, the thing is, majority of people in each state, was state by state, selected Donald Trump. Because that's how the electoral college is. It's popular vote by state. Now people are bringing up he had 24% national popular vote. No, he didn't. He had 47%. He only did have 48% national popular vote. But that's not fair to the smaller states because majority of our population is made up of Democratic states. It don't give a chance for the small states. And the majority of the population is like New Jersey, New York, California. These are all Democratic states. So we cannot go by national popular vote. Because then it gives small states no chance, no say-so, because they don't make up the majority of the population. And it would make our system a one-party system. Like China, communist China. They have only one party. Every president they have is from the same party, Communist Party. So my situation, I see all these people lying, yelling, screaming. It's 13,000. I went on Facebook, and I got blocked, by the way, by Facebook. I got blocked because I said liberals are being pathetic. Okay? I said pathetic liberal, and Facebook blocked me. While all those people are cussing out on Facebook, cussing out people that are Donald Trump supporters, they haven't got blocked. Facebook blocks me because I said pathetic liberal. And in context, I was saying we got rid of the pathetic liberals because now the Republicans are majority in Congress and also in power of presidency. So and these people are pushing, let's go riot on Facebook, and they're not getting blocked. Because the reason is because of liberal. And Facebook is liberal. But let's get back to the topic. We got people rioting. They're not going to come together with Trump. Now, I remember just a few months ago, they said if Trump wins, they're going to move. Why don't they move? Well, could be because Canada has some strict immigration. It's very strict. It's tough to get to Canada. People thought it was going to be Saki Dory, they can go across the border. No. By the way, if you're illegal in Canada, they will deport you. Okay? There's no questions asked. They're going to deport you. They will go house to house, pick you up, and deport you. If they find out you're illegally there. So, and they said, oh, Trump preached his hate. Okay, let's go over a few things. Did he call all Mexicans rapists and murderers? No. If you look in the context, it was about illegal immigration. Illegal immigrants. Or, in other words, undocumented immigrants. He was told by Border Patrol that most of the undocumented immigrants, he didn't say all, because he said some are good. Most of the undocumented immigrants that come here, and this is what he's told by Border Patrol, are rapists and murderers and criminals. Okay? Now, I don't know if that's fact, but that comes from the Border Patrol. Maybe they have some bias or whatever. But they all under Obama's administration. Until Trump takes over, they are under Obama's administration. So if Obama really had a problem, he would send essential notice against them. But that's not preaching hate. That's just preaching what he was told. And he's trying to make sure that the ones that are actual criminals, get out. And he said that. He said his main target is on illegals is the ones who have criminal records. He's going to get them out. Okay. And then people said he said blacks are living through hell. You know what? I hear blacks all the time say they're living through hell. That the whites get more than what they get, you know? Are you calling them liars too? The truth is, there is a system. Well, whites would, get more than blacks. I'm not going, there's racial disparities. I mean, if you take a rich white neighborhood and you take a poor black neighborhood, community, let's say community, not neighborhood, because it's a little bit more than just a neighborhood. Rich white neighborhood communities get more funding from the state when it comes to education, more funding from the federal government for infrastructure and education. And rich white people getting all the state and thing. The funny thing is, and I'm going to agree with this, those rich white communities could actually start paying for it themselves, instead of relying on the government. I mean, that's one thing I do agree with Democrats on, is that maybe these rich white neighborhoods could start paying for the things themselves instead of relying on the government, because they got the millions and billions, billionaires there. Like, let's say I live in Kansas, you got Johnson County, and I have said the state funding for education, we should take that money that we all give to Johnson County and we give it to the poor schools, the urban schools, because they're going to need more than that. Johnson County can come up with boosters or whatever they can to fund programs. I mean, it's, that's the only thing I go in with Democrats on, and, we do have some racial disparities and all that. I agree with that. And those need to be addressed. But to say Donald Trump hates blacks because he said that statement? No. He did that statement because he's just telling the facts. Things have to change. And he even explained it. He said he's going to make sure urban communities, Hispanic or black, is going to get more education funding, more infrastructure funding. Isn't that what they want? Don't they want more funding to be more at an equal level? And he says he's going to bring jobs in these communities through funding and tax cuts for workers and businesses that operate in urban communities. I mean, these are things that they should be like, okay, he's listening to us. But no, they're out there rioting on the streets. And I'm not blaming black people on this one. All Hispanics. It's the white people that are pulling the strings, The white liberals are pulling the strings and pulling the cakes, telling them to go riot, I mean, Black Lives Matter is actually being peaceful compared to the blacks and Hispanics that are being anti-Trump supporters. In this case, because in Cleveland, Ray Tenzing, a guy who was indicted, an officer who was indicted for shooting an unarmed black man. And the video showed he had no justification. That's why he was indicted. But it ended up in a mistrial. And you didn't see Black Lives Matter go out and riot. A few of the Black Lives Matter groups have rioted. But in Cincinnati, the officer said it was relatively peaceful. So, but the anti-Trump protesters nationwide are actually begging calls, setting things on fire and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, that these anti-Trump protesters need to look at what Black Lives Matter did in Cincinnati and see what a peaceful protest is. Because they just showed, the Black Lives Matter actually showed the anti-Trump protesters, hey, we can be peaceful. Seems you guys can't. So, I think that they should be protesting that more than protesting being anti-Trump and all that. Because that's an issue that's still happening is cops, police officers still getting by with doing whatever they want and da-da-da-da-da. It doesn't matter who's president. I mean, we got Obama as president. They're not listening to him. And honestly, I don't even think they're going to listen to Donald Trump, too. Because Donald Trump said bad officers to be off the streets and in jail. You know, he said that himself, but I definitely even going to listen to Trump, too. Because these are local governments, and the local governments control themselves. The federal government has no control over local governments. So the local governments is the mayor and the police chief and all that. They control what happens. You know, the accountability is on their hands. Now, latency was actually filed, so that's one benefit. But the fact is, the people that are on the jury don't hold them accountable, too. And they let officers get by. And this could be, and Cincinnati is relatively a Democratic city. So is Cleveland. So the prosecutor was a Republican, but he did all he can to try to convict him. He even called the officer, the attention, the A-word, you know, because he said he was an A-word, you know. And so that's the things you need to protest. Now, we don't have to get violent, we don't have to get loud. We could do what BLM did in Cincinnati. It's a peaceful protest. It is your right to protest, but it's not your right to riot. But see, BLM was very peaceful. The police said they had no problems with BLM protesting in Cincinnati. But on the other hand, the anti-Trump protesters were born in buildings, breaking calls, stuff like that. And, you know, I just don't get it. All over an election. Look, the people spoken. They wanted Trump. And it's not because you say, hey, okay, you gotta bring up, the discrimination lawsuit. Well, that discrimination lawsuit was because of Donald Trump's dad, who was discriminating against people. Okay, look, Donald Trump was 17. He had no power over the company. Yes, he was with his dad when his dad did an interview, but the dad, he was just being not disrespectful. You know, he wasn't being disrespectful. He's not going to speak up against his dad. That's disrespectful. He was trying to be a respectful person. But when Donald Trump took over the company, the real estate company, he settled out of court with the DOJ, because that's when the DOJ finally sued, because Donald Trump took over and they didn't want to deal with his father, Fred Trump, and they sued Donald Trump. And Donald Trump settled out of court, and he said, you know what? Just to make everything right, I'm going to have the Urban League pick tenants. You know? So he let the Urban League pick tenants. That was his suggestion. Oh, what a big racist he is. Oh, no, that's not racist. He let the Urban League. People talked about the Central Park 5. He put that ad. Well, you know what? A lot of blacks and whites wanted them dead or in jail. He thought he was doing a public service. Donald Trump thought he was doing a public service by putting that ad. Now, believing that they're still guilty, well, you know, that's his opinion. You know, even though they were clear, that's his opinion. And that's an opinion that a lot of people that protest officers believe when officers get off. You know, they think they're all guilty, you know. So, it's just a bad thing. It's an opinion. So, and saying blacks are racist, that was from a disgruntled employee who wrote that in a book. It's not proven. So there's really nothing that shows that Donald Trump is racist. He didn't. There's no proof or evidence that that speech on illegal immigrants was about illegal immigrants. It wasn't about Mexicans legally here, Mexican Americans. It wasn't about them. It's about illegal immigrants. The fact is, he has not said really any racist words. The media assumed it was racist, pushed it as racist, and now look at the division that has caused. He did say he's going to deport illegals. Guess what? That's because they're legally here. It's not to do with the race. It's because they're legally here. We cannot have all these illegals getting... Canada will deport you? Okay, Canada can deport illegals, but the United States can't. Is that how it has to be? Canada gets to do whatever they want, but the United States doesn't. Canada gets to have borders. The United States doesn't. The United States is supposed to be open borders. Canada has border patrol and they're supposed to... And everybody says, let's be like Canada. Okay, let's be like Canada. Let's deport the illegals like Canada. You know? I mean, that's the thing. You say, let's be like Canada, but you don't want to be like Canada when it comes to immigration. Okay, because they have strict immigration. You know? And this division is going to continue. And it's because of the media. Now, I got blocked on Facebook, you know, and I'm usually the one that talks some sense into people. I got blocked on Facebook because they're pathetic liberals, okay? No, but the thing is, most of the time I'm actually talking sense to people, and now I can't talk sense to people because I've been blocked 30 days. So, all this violence is going to keep happening because you're blocking the people who say, one little thing like pathetic liberals. But in the long term, you're not looking at this same person that said pathetic liberals actually tries to, calm things down. And that's the bullcrap. So now people on Facebook are urging the violence and division and stuff like that, and I can't even do anything to help it. For 30 days. In 30 days, it's going to get worse. So in 30 days, it's going to be all Facebook's fault. It's going to be all the media's fault. CNN, MSNBC. It's going to be all their fault of this division. It's going to continue. It's going to get worse. Because now the electoral college, saying the electoral college is going to steal the election for Hillary. That's going to cause war, because that's just going to cause the people who voted for Trump to get upset and start causing problems as well. We don't need more division. And yes, President Obama is still president, and he should say something. Hillary should say something too. The system is fair, and the electoral college is fair because it gives us small states a voice in the presidency. Because electorates are awarded. Electorates are supposed to be awarded by whatever the popular vote in the state is that those electorates represent. Those electors represent. So, I don't know what to tell you more. I hope everything calms down, but it doesn't seem, because the Democrats are really pissed off because Trump won. And they're never going to shut up unless they get the way. It's kind of like whining little babies. I mean, yes, Donald Trump supporters said they would protest, but I doubt they really would, because many times Donald Trump supporters do not actually protest when they say they're going to protest. Donald Trump supporters usually don't boycott when they say they're going to boycott. I'm a Donald Trump supporter myself, but I'm not in tune Donald Trump supporter. Yeah, I'm only a Donald Trump supporter because I protected gun rights when Hillary said she's going to reverse the Howell decision, get rid of individual gun rights, make us like Australia, I'm not going to, that's all, I could have voted for Hillary on that. And then I'm pro-life, and she's definitely pro-choice because she said she's going to have a restricted abortion, and taxpayers are going to fund it, there's issues. I'm an issues voter, not an emotional voter. And most of those people that are rioting are emotional voters. They only want to vote for Hillary because the media said Donald Trump was racist. Because the media said Donald Trump's going to do this. The media said Donald Trump's going to do that. Yeah, he believed what the media told him. I actually researched it, and I didn't use just I didn't use any conservative sites too. I used some liberal and mainstream sources, outside of the realm of CNN and MSNBC. I mean, I used in New York Times. I used the LA Times instead, and I used fact checkers and stuff like that. I've used a lot of things that liberals would use, but they don't. Instead, they use the liberal media. The ones that have every intention to lie. To protect. So now they are actually making sure that this riot goes on and on. And now they're trying to help steal the election for Hillary by the Electoral College. And I'm just in a situation, I can't do anything about it. I can't stop the violence. I can't. I can't help the situation. And I do believe I could actually calm things. I've calmed a lot of things, but Facebook took that away from me when they blocked me for 30 days. So, all I know is they better not steal this election away from Donald Trump, because then you're going to cause problems. Because the reason why majority of Donald Trump supporters hated what he said, his language, bad language and stuff like that. They call him a rapist, because of the sexual assault allegations. And none of those women brought lawsuits against him, because each and every one of those stories were debunked. Debunked? Yeah, they were debunked. I mean, they were debunked because witnesses said that it didn't happen that way. Family members of victims, not victims, they're not victims. I mean, alleged accusers, for the accusers, said that it didn't happen. They actually praised Trump. And the conflicting stories from the accusers themselves, because it was two different stories they told. One to CNN, one to New York Times. Yeah, it was like, we tell different stories. But, and also they bring up that child rape lawsuit, that one that girl just dismissed like 2 weeks ago. And she dismissed it not because she was threatened, but she dismissed it because there was no evidence and she knew it. And she gave an interview to the Daily Mail, and she let them take pictures of her. And, if somebody was threatened, they would not be blasted a picture on the media, They would try to hide their face. Yeah. And also the Daily Mail updated and found out the story was fabricated. She lied. So there was no child rape. There was no rape. It was all just a game to try to swing the election. It didn't work. So, the sexual assault allegations from the women swing the election. I mean, Gloria Allred did that to Herman Cain before, found people to accuse him. So, yeah. She's a big Hillary supporter. She was going to try to do anything she can, but it didn't work. But, honestly, this division is going to continue. Because Trump is still going to be president. Because the Electoral College won't turn their backs on the system. Because he won 306 to 306 electorates. Which is more than whatever Obama got. Or Romney got. Or whatever. Or Bush. He got more than Bush. He got more than Obama. And he got more than... So, I just want you to know the truth is, it's just how it is. And you need to accept that Donald Trump is the president-elect. If you want to work with him and get him to deal with issues. Now, you're never going to get him to work on LGBT. That's a no-brainer, LGBT. I mean, he might walk. The only thing he has said about transgender, he thinks states and businesses should, make policy on that. He don't, which nobody disagrees that if a liberal state wants to have, if a liberal state wants to make sure that transgenders can use the bathroom and locker room they want, and the liberal state can go ahead. Nobody's gonna challenge that. There might be Republicans mad in those liberal states because of it, but they're living in a liberal state and they should expect it. It's just like gun control. If the states want to, restrict guns, you're living in a liberal state, you kind of move to a place that's going to do that, and you should accept it, unless you want to move to a conservative state. If you don't want to accept that, that's why the Supreme Court said when it comes to gun rights, they said that reasonable restrictions, they allow the states to have reasonable restrictions. And they specifically said states, not the federal government. So the states, if your state is liberal and they put some restrictions up on guns, you kind of live in a liberal state, you kind of, have to deal with that. I'm pro-gun rights. I didn't want no Hillary Clinton there because she was going to ban individual gun rights totally by executive order, because she said that she's going to use more executive orders Obama than to implement her policies, And she was going to have the liberal Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court's going to be conservative. Good job. We kept the gun rights, but here's the deal. If you live in a state that's going to have restrictions like that, well, I'm sorry, you chose where you live. Especially you living in California and New York, when the most expensive states' taxes are high and everything like that. How are you affording it? Now you're going to say you're too poor to move. Well, if you're too poor to move, why are you living in New York and California anyway? Because they have the highest taxes you could think of. Everything. I don't see how you even living in those states. They're expensive. But anyway, that's my video today. Right.